Hey traders, Raghee here, and in this update we're going to talk about gravity. We're going to talk about gravitational pull and pullbacks. And with that in mind, we're going to take a look at the four indices. We'll take a look at the S&P, Nasdaq, Dow, and Russell, and answer probably the question that I get the most, which is, are we ready for a pullback? What could be the signs? And where could the market go? All right, so starting off with the S&P, just please remember that the overall market is still very much in an uptrend. So down here we have the JT multi-trend. Green over green means that we have the proper bullish structure where the focus is not that the markets won't ever dip, but rather if they do, they're more likely to be bought. And so with that in mind, we have a double green wave buy, by the way, that we've seen three times earlier. This would be the fourth pullback since June, if we were to get a pullback soon. Interestingly enough, the S&P has been on this little 19 to 22 bar pullback cycle, where you'll notice we get to about this date in here, which, by the way, if you're curious what that date is, that's actually the 17th of September. So if you're looking at a calendar rhythm, by mid-September, we could see a pullback. I do not set my watch. I don't set a timer for pullbacks. I don't use time unless it is corresponding with something on the calendar. So let's talk about what's on the calendar. Let's jump on over to Forex Factory. Let's jump on over to the week that the 7th. We'll take a look at that week and the week after. So we have CPI numbers coming up, 14th. That's important, inflation numbers. Then we get into the typical Thursday employment numbers. We have retail sales. All right, that takes us to the 17th, where there's really nothing going on major on the 17th. What about the following week? All right, so we move into the week of the 19th, and that brings us to FOMC. So there you go. If you're wondering, okay, is there going to be a rhythm to a potential pullback? Oh, let me bring that chart back up. If there's going to be a rhythm to that, I won't be surprised if it extends to somewhere between that CPI number and the FOMC meeting on the 22nd. So if we're going to see volatility, that could be a really interesting window in terms of time. Time up the catalyst, the hot zone for what could be a pullback. And then remember that when the S&P pulls back, it pulls back further than the top line of the wave, usually gets into the middle. So where I'm expecting it, when I'm expecting it, and that I'm flat out expecting it, right? Now, the Nasdaq is a similar conversation. Double green, check. Pullback buys, check. Volume ledge corresponding with the wave, check. It's going to have not the same type of rhythm that we've seen time-wise with the S&P, but if we were to pull that, just out of curiosity, 23 bar, all right, well, let's do the same thing. Let's pull just out of curiosity, right? Another 23 bar. Where would that put us in terms of a potential date? Well, interestingly enough, that syncs up with the Federal Reserve meeting. You see that there, the 22nd? So pullback to pullback. Yeah, that could time up pretty well. Not that that's what's going to happen, but that could time up pretty well. Just kind of looking at a time-based, catalyst-based type expectation. But it's really price at the end of the day that gets me in. Price plus volume, and gorgeous ledge right in here would be even better. And yes, that means I'm going to be focused on the lower end of the wave on the pullback. Now that brings us to the two non-trending markets of the broader indices. The Russell, which I'm not going to treat as a trend because it's not. Do I want to emphasize the Russell? Not really. The Russell's already come off the support that was a buy back in here. So buy, maybe some resistance in here, but I don't want to short the Russell, but I don't want to do anything in the middle. So that's an easy conversation. And then it takes us over to the Dow finally. The Dow's trying to organize into an uptrend. Now I say trying because we've seen what good uptrends look like. We've seen the yellow market that dominated through about the middle of August, and we can see trying to turn on to a double green, turns off, trying to turn on to a double green, turns off, right? So that's what I mean by it's trying. These short segments of the yellow at the bottom tell me that the trend hasn't quite gained traction, but it looks like it wants to, I would be really cautious. I would be really cautious, and I would be really conservative. Probably as close to the 55 exponential. That would be where I'd be, looking at the 55 prop dot if I'm going to do anything with the Dow. So I'm not crazy about what's happening with the Dow. Still looking at transports. Transports could be at the lower end of the range. This very tight range in here where it could, but we do have all this support down in here and also the point of control. So not a lot of insight from transports. Industrials took it on the chin today, but let's take a look at industrials. This is not what a trend looks like. This is not what clarity and any kind of cue to future market performance looks like. And remember, the Dow is all about XLK and all about XLF. And it is XLF that we will talk about in the premium video a little bit more as a main component of the Dow, as a main component of the S&P, and what maybe, if at all, we can do with that pullback there in financials. All right, so that's where we are at the beginning of the week. Still kind of getting a feel for what we have coming up. Hope this gives you a good broad look at what I have on my radar, and we'll just continue to tighten that radar up. Let's not get too fixated. Let's let the market figure out where the traction is in September, and we'll go forward from there. I'll see you in the next update. Hey traders, Raghee from Simpler Trading. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like and a comment below. And remember, subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll get notified of the next update. And when you're ready to join me for live trading, be sure to head on over to simplertrading.com. I'll see you in the next update.